Everyone. My name is Bob Mitchell. I am the Superintendent of Schools in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and I want to welcome you all to another BobTalks. And the topic, this particular topic, is one that is really important and one that I, along with many other people, are really passionate about. In fact, there is a movement across the country on the start of school for high school students. So we're learning a lot about the brain and brain research, and we know that our students aren't getting enough sleep. Our teenagers are not getting enough sleep. So we know that the ideal start time based on the research is 8:30. Our students, high school students, start at 7:15. So there's no question that our students are being negatively impacted because they're not getting enough sleep, and we actually have survey data that supports that, and I'll share a little bit of that with you in a minute. So we know that there are some significant health effects when students don't get enough sleep. So first of all, ideally, the research shows that teenagers need between 9 and 9.5 hours of sleep a night. However, the average teenager is getting between 7 and 7.25 hours of sleep a night. So you can see there's a significant difference between what they should be getting based on science and what they are actually getting. There are 5 significant health effects when teenagers don't get enough sleep. First and foremost, there are mental health issues. We know that there is a growing percentage of students struggling with anxiety and depression in this country. It is increasing. There is evidence that shows that sleep deprivation contributes to that. We know that sleep deprivation contributes to learning and behavior. When students don't get enough sleep, they cannot perform at peak ability. So their academic performance suffers, and we also know that there is a relationship between negative behavior and students not getting enough sleep. There is also research that shows that sleep deprivation leads to higher incidence of substance use and abuse. So of course, that is something that is a concern to us, and we certainly don't want our students to be more involved with substances. Drowsy driving is another issue associated with sleep deprivation, and there's also other health-related effects like students who don't get enough sleep have a higher risk of obesity. So these are just some of the effects that not getting enough sleep have on teenagers, and I'm sure that there are adults who would agree that those same factors that I just mentioned affect adults as well. So just to provide you with some information about our own students, and I think it justifies the need for us to consider a later school start time. We surveyed our high school students. 870 students responded, and here's what we learned. And certainly it got our attention, and I think is in line with the statistics that I just shared with you. 40% of our students get 6 hours of sleep or less during the school week. 39% of our students get between 6 and 7 hours of sleep a night. So that means 79% of those 870 students are getting 7 or less hours of sleep a night. And remember, the goal is 9 to 9.5. Let me just share a few other statistics from the survey that we did. And remember, we surveyed almost 900 students. 77% of those students feel that they don't get enough sleep. 68% of high school students stated that if school started later, they would get more sleep. 71% of our high school students report feeling tired during class often or most of the time. 72% of our students feel that they would perform better if school started later. And 72% of the high school students feel that school starts too early. So our own students are reporting that they are negatively impacted by our 7:15 start time. So there is a wealth of evidence that supports the need for Cumberland High Schools to start later. 7:15 negatively impacts our students in a number of ways. And there are two major areas that we need to focus on as a district. One is we need to consider the potential cost of moving from a 7:15 start time to an 8:30 start time. So there is a possibility that the cost of the move may be an issue, and we are investigating that, and actually have been investigating the financial impact of a later school start time. That is a serious consideration. And probably the most important thing that we've learned is, based on our study of districts that have gone through this process of starting school later at the high school, the second most important thing is we have to prepare the community for the change. Because imagine the impact that going from 7:15 to 8:30 would have on the community. So we need to help them understand the reasons why we need to make this move, and we have to organize in such a way that it's going to make the transition as smooth and as easy as possible. So I have been meeting with students, I have been meeting with parent-teacher organizations, and I will continue to do that. And I think we need to get the word out, and I will continue to do that. And I hope that everyone understands how important this is to the health of our teenagers, not only to the health of our teenagers, but also understand the impact that it will have on the academic performance of our teenagers.